Something about liquidity in trading that a lot of you guys have not wrapped your head around yet. You understand? You can't take liquidity out of your bias or forming your bias or forming your entry. It will guide your entry, it will guide your exit point, and it will equally guide your stop losses in the market. You understand? So if you look at this particular example here, you will discover that there's a price, there's a liquidity sitting here, right? You understand? And the market will give a kind of a signal for you to sell, you understand? And you'll be thinking, okay, let me sell the market towards the downside, because obviously this on a 4 hour like this candle is giving me a sign for a sell. But you'll be surprised that this liquidity will act as a magnet and it will push price towards the upside. Let me show you real quick how this is going to happen. And I'm going to my chart as well to equally show you that this thing does work, you understand? So whenever price have an obvious liquidity above, you should be very careful when taking a trade, you understand? Because 90% out of 100 times, the market is going to push towards that liquidity above or down, as the case may be, you understand? So let me give you a typical example for this particular example, you understand? Look at what the price did here. Let me make this very bold for you guys. You see that boom, the price will continue towards the upside, you understand? Continue towards the upside until it takes out this liquidity, you understand? It takes out this liquidity right here, you understand? So if you were selling from this place, you would be surprised that you put your stop loss around this place and you wanted to sell towards the downside to hunt for the maybe external liquidity downside. You will be surprised that your stop loss will be taken out and you'll be wondering, what is the problem? The 4 hour clearly shows the candle formation that look, I am going to sell, but when I entered the trade, it took me out and went straight to the next liquidity at the top. So that is it, my friend. Nothing is wrong with your trading style, your confirmations candle, you understand? What is wrong is that you are not respecting the liquidity right here, you understand? That is just what is wrong with you, you understand? And you have to understand that liquidity does work in the market. It acts as a magnetic point, you understand? Price tends to go towards this liquidity and take it out before it continue in the intended direction, right? You understand? So I'll give you a typical example. I'll show you on the chart what price does today. In the moment it goes to that liquidity, boom, your price will start selling aggressively towards the downside, right? I'll show you a typical example of what the price did today on Euro USD and JPY USD after the CPI index data was released today, called CPI data, yes. So let's go to Euro USD. Let me show you a real life example right there. You understand? On Euro USD. Look at this beautiful example. Let me even go to JPY USD. JPY USD has the best setup, you understand? So even me, I was kind of trapped, you understand? Because I was telling my community to sell from here, you understand? You understand? So it took us out, and it's all happened because of this liquidity here. So this liquidity, we did not respect it. We didn't respect this liquidity, and as such, we were not surprised when the price pushed towards the upside and tapping into this key level here, all this key level, right? You understand? Look at what the price did here. So some of you, when you came to your chart in the morning, you'll be like, okay, let me sell from here, you understand? Not considering this liquidity. What the price just did is that after the core CPI data was released by 1:30 p.m. for me, I'm in the West African region, so it happens around 1:30 p.m. So when the data was released, boom, look at what the price did. Price pushed up aggressively towards that external liquidity that is yet to be claimed, you understand? And the moment the price claimed it, look at what the price is doing now. You understand? The price is pushing towards the downside, you understand? So you have to keep liquidity into consideration, you understand? Price always move towards the liquidity at any given time, you understand? It will only take, even if the price will want to reverse, it has to take the obvious liquidity out before it goes towards the intended direction. I can go on and show you other beautiful example. If I go to gold, it is going to be the same as well. You understand? You understand? some people will be thinking, oh, let me sell gold from here, you understand, because they saw this beautiful signal candle telling them that this is a buy candle from a sell candle from the 4 hour, right? And they'll be like, let me enter the trade and go towards this imbalance here, not considering this beautiful liquidity sitting here. Look at this beautiful guy here, you understand? So look at what the price did. The price eventually moved towards the liquidity. You understand? So even if you are considering selling gold, you have to respect this thing. You have to respect this external liquidity, and not until price give you a beautiful change of character, you should not even think of selling in this kind of scenario. Because if you look at the price, look at what the price have been doing ever since last week, right? So look at what the price have been doing, pushing towards the upside, creating higher highs, higher low, higher high. So there's no sign of selling pressure now until you have a clear change of character. That is when you should come in and be thinking of selling. But now, if you want to sell, it is like sitting on a gunpowder and it can explode at any time, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to stay on your hand and watch how the price will move, right? If I go to other beautiful example, you see this thing playing out every time, right? You understand? So in this example of look at this beautiful example here. Look at this example as well. Look at this example. This is a JBP JPY, right? So these are all. Let me go to 1 hour. This thing is going to make more sense, right? So this on 1 hour, right? You understand? So these are liquidity. So these are perfect liquidity. So some guys will be like, okay, the moment the price give me that signal here, they will be like, okay, let me go and sell. You understand? Look at this beautiful signal the market gave them. They will be like, okay, let me go and sell, not considering the massive imbalance, which is equally acting as the internal liquidity, coupled with the external liquidity sitting above. So look at what the price did. The moment they sell their, let me even demonstrate the selling from this level. You understand? They will put their setup here, thinking that the market will go sell. You understand? Enter from this zone. They will enter from this zone, right? You understand? Enter from here exactly at this point. The moment the price give them this selling candle, right, they will enter, and the market will sell momentarily towards the downside. They will be happy, celebrating that, oh, they have caught a nice setup, not knowing that there's a massive imbalance here, which is acting as the internal liquidity, and equally this beautiful liquidity here. And look at what the price did. Price move back aggressively until tap into this liquidity. You understand? So you have to respect liquidity, guys. If you want to stay in the game for the long term, you must use liquidity as your reference point, right? You understand? Price normally go for the liquidity before it goes in your direction. You understand? Even if you know your bias from the daily time frame, when you come down to the lower time frame, like the 4 hour, like the 15 minutes, 1 hour, you have to respect this thing, because if you don't respect it, you are not going to have a beautiful entry in the market. You understand? So that is exactly what's happening right here. You understand? Look at this, all this liquidity here. Look at what the price is doing here. At this point, if you are thinking of selling Euro USD, you are not going to be too wrong, like, because of course all the external liquidity that is spending here, all the liquidity here is already being grabbed. You understand? Look at this pocket of liquidity here. So in the morning when you came to your chart, if you are thinking of selling without considering all this pocket of liquidity, you are deceiving yourself. And look at what the price did. So look at what the price did from this place, right? All these places are liquidity. You understand? Look at it. These are liquidity. These are all liquidity, right? And look at what the price did here. The price goes straight and take out all of them before coming down. You understand? So let me check on the daily time frame. If we are to consider selling Euro USD, of course, today is going to end as a bearish candle. And given the fact that price has already taken out all this external liquidity, I mean all this internal liquidity on the lower time frame, like the 1 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour now. See, these are the liquidity that I'm showing you guys. I was showing you guys earlier, right? Look at them. Price take out all of them. You understand? So now the price has given us that formation that look, I'm no longer printing higher highs anymore. I've taken out all the listing. So this is what the price is basically literally telling us. You understand? So look at its price, take out all this level. Before now we have been printing steady higher highs, higher low, higher highs, you understand, towards the upside, higher highs, you understand. But at this point, it is no longer so, because after the price take out this liquidity, we are going to be considering a sell position, and hopefully we just have some few hours for this day. Today being the 12th of August, for this daily candle to end, you understand. So this daily candle is obviously going to end as a bearish candle, and that will give us that opportunity to look for a sell towards this external liquidity. In short, what you should understand is that price basically move from liquidity to liquidity. That is what you should keep in your mind, you understand. If you look at this critically, let me demonstrate it for you. This is it, right? If you look at this is exactly what Euro USD did. Euro USD has been compressing towards has been moving aggressively, printing new highs towards the upside, and all of a sudden it forms this pocket of liquidity like this, and some people will be thinking, okay, let me sell now, not knowing that this liquidity has to be taken, and this is exactly what USD did on the 1 hour that I've been showing you earlier. You understand? Price goes up now, take out this extra liquidity on the 1 hour time frame. You understand? So all the liquidity, all the internal liquidity on the 1 hour has already been taken out. So what are we going to expect next? We're going to expect price to hunt for all this external liquidity here, all these guys here. This is exactly how price move. After I take out the internal liquidity, which is this guy here, let me mark it very well. You understand? After I take out this guy here, this one is acting as the internal liquidity, right? After it takes out the internal liquidity, next place that price will likely go towards is the external liquidity, which is going to be all these guys here. You understand? All these small guys here. So these are going to be the next targets that we're going to be looking at for. So basically, price move from internal liquidity to external liquidity. It moves from liquidity to liquidity. Once you can understand and map this thing on your chart effectively, you are far ahead of those guys, some of these guys in the game, you understand. So you want to make sure you are putting this thing into consideration. You don't want to jump into the chart and be doing things randomly, you understand. No, you have to respect the liquidity, you understand. And that is it. That is what you have seen on the chart. If you go back, go and back test, you discover that this thing I'm telling you is the real deal, right? Every time price move from liquidity to liquidity. So yeah, this is it. This is it about liquidity. And if you want more tutorial about liquidity, you can reach out to me. I'm going to teach you more about liquidity, you understand. So I will draw the curtain for today. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Peace out for now.